All right, thank you so much. Once again, welcome to the night class. I hope we are going to be very fast. I believe by this time everyone should have joined. Though we still have the number is still quite poor, but we're going to proceed. So I promised yesterday for the extension. So we'll take a tour around VS Code, how it of the extensions you need, and some other stuff. So let's go. Okay, this is my environment. This is my VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So you have your top bar where you have your code. You can create a new code. Open a
Sorry, please, I
system.
cannot see your screen.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. So this is my environment. I have this is my VS Code environment. You can start a new file, open an existing project, can create project from GitHub, connect to GitHub and whatsoever. So you have your sidebar. Here, this is where you have open a folder, create or clone a repository. You have your search. That's to search a content on your code and you now also replace it. Then you have this is your source code. This is like your Git repo where you connect. Actually, your VS Code works in line with your Git hub. Once it can help you arrange your Git and your Git extension. So the basic thing that we're looking at majorly tonight is let's just jump into setting up. So this is extensions. So we are looking at extensions. Yes, good extensions. Okay. I'm sorry. So the first one you need is your live server. You need a live server. So this live server extension is used to run, easy to run your launch your development locally. Just launch a project. It helps you to launch your project and it's you see the project like live, see the live reload. You don't need to be opening your browser here and there. When you make a change, you don't need to reload your browser. You just see it there when you're working with HTML. So that's live server is a very good extension for you when you're working with HTML and CSS. So you just keep see your code. Once you make changes, you get a live. It reloads by itself and you get a live update of what you are doing. You don't need to refresh your browser. That's for live server. So we to install it, just head to this page, type live server. Then you have it there, you now install. Click on install. So I already have it installed. So the next one is Prettier. So Prettier, you have prettier code formatter. So this is if you wonder why your code has a beautiful look, where you see blue, red, brown, yellow, red, all those beautiful colors that your code looks so pretty, and it also helps to align and arrange your code in an indented format. So that's for prettier formatter for VS Code. So it's prettier formatter. That's it. For that computer formatter is very cool. Then what else? Okay, how to set up this splitter formatter? I don't know how many of us have our systems with us. How many of us have our system with us? Oh, maybe okay. Running. So do you have your picture formatter? Do you have a picture formatter with you? Okay. So maybe how do we do this? Did I give you an article on how to set up your picture formatter, or should I record the video? Maybe after the class, record the video on how to do that. Since I don't know how many of us have it. So,
So please record the video. So video will be preferable.
okay, okay, I'll do a video and an article so that every both of them work. So hopefully before our next class, you have the video and the article on how to fully set up your this is since everybody are not with their system, it's like live system. Though you are supposed to have your system tonight because we are going to work on some stuff. So the setting is quite easy. You go to your settings and fill it up. So I think later after the class I'll do the recording that we can save much of our time. For that, then we have if you are going to work with React and all that, that's the way you use an extension for that. That's EX5, EX6, EX7. That's this EX7 React Redux native snipers. That's let's say for autocomplete and a whole lot of stuff where you get your React exports from Array just with the short form, you get your React setup and all that. So it's really all these extensions helps us to have a more prettier work. So you have your ES link, you really need to have it in order to help you in your code debugging. Then you have other ones. So for this class, you also need to set up for Tailwind CSS, IntelliSense. So now for Tailwind CSS, because on the long run, we'll learn how to use Tailwind CSS. So you need to install the plugin too, so that it will help you out in your setup. Then you will need which other one? So I think that's all for now. So you can also have this one, JavaScript and TypeScript 90. It also makes your code fun and also helps you in autocomplete too. So basically for this. You can make your research on plugins for front-end developers. I will check out for the article and send it across to the group that you can look at how to fix all the plugins you need and explore other plugins. I don't use all, I use few, so you can also explore others and also use them. I think that's all for the that. So I let's just jump into the code and experiment what we had yesterday. Then we'll look at other things. So okay, do you have any questions before we proceed? Who has a question? Or I'm seeing people's hands up, so I need to know if you have a question before we proceed.
Yes, please. My question is, where can we get those extensions that I just finished mentioning?
Okay, let me share my screen. I need to open up a document. So let me just share my screen. So this is your extension. You have on your sidebar of your VS Code, you have an extension bar there, an icon for extension. Once you click on it, it comes out. The extensions come out. You now search for the extension you want. So that's how it works. You click on this icon. Let me increase this so that you can see this. So this is the extension bar here. Once you click on it, you can see whatever you want from here. This is where you click to find it. This is for your file explorer to add, open a folder to clone. Then this is your search. You use to search you can search for a specific text in your code and replace it. So you search for a specific text, anywhere it occurs in the code, you now replace it. which makes it more fun. This is for your source code. It works in line with your Git. If you have a Git on that repository or the file you're working on, it helps you keep it in line and you see what is happening and what is not happening. You also run and debug your projects here. Then you have the extension where you have your installed works, which I mentioned earlier that you need to install your live server. For those with their system here, you need to install your live server. Very important because we'll be using it. And your prettier, I promise to send how to set up. So though you can also actually search it online how to set up prettier code formatter. So you can also set up for that. All right. Which during the class I will still show you how to do that. Do I answer your question?
Yes, I have answered my question. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Good. So, all right, I'm going to create a new project. How to create a project, and so this is file, new file. So the best practice for this is arranging your file. The best practice for programming is arranging your file. So this is I'm going to create. Arranging your file is one thing. If you can't really arrange your file, you run into problems. So it's best you create a folder. So I'm going to call it TEFEM Fellowship. TEFEM Fellowship. So inside here, I'm going to create my another file. So I'm going to create the file. Okay. So I'm going to import that file to my VS Code here. Then I've imported the file this way. Can you see my screen? You can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to now, yes, I trust it. I will now add my first file, which is my, I'm calling it index.html. So that's for index.html. So basically, yesterday we learned about the basic structure of HTML. So can someone direct me or mute your mic and direct me on how to work around this?
From my own understanding is we have to first indicate the type of documents you are about to do, like using the HTML tag.
Okay, all right, doc type right.
Yes.
Okay, so what next?
Then we can add another tag like title tag.
Title tag.
Yes, after you close the doc type HTML tag.
Is this really correct?
Then
It's
it's the
wrong.
body
It's
tag.
head then title.
No, no, it's HTML first.
It has
I think you
HTML.
specify the HTML language after declaring the doc type.
Okay,
That would be
so
HTML, open bracket.
all
Opening
right.
HTML tag and
Okay,
closing HTML tag.
No, no, not this one, no.
What about using the exclamation?
This is this, right? That's what we are supposed to do. That's the basic. This is the basic structure of your HTML file. So what I did, VS Code has this. Once you have saved your file, once you have saved your file with .html, by default VS Code sees it as a HTML file. So what happens is this: once you click on HTML5, you select HTML5. This once you select, it gives you the basic structure of your HTML by default. You have it. So that's, I'll call it a shortcut to set up your HTML. So firstly you create your HTML file and you save it, then open the code and type HTML, then HTML5, click on it, get it. So here what you have here is your doc type declaration. You have your HTML root file, the root element. You have your head section, which contains your metadata. It says metadata. I said, then you have your name. These viewports contains width equal to device width, image initial scale of 1.0. So this thing, like I explained yesterday, this is for your responsiveness, is so that any width your viewport is aligns, the content aligns with your device width. So that's the essence of this metadata here. This metadata helps you to set up your responsiveness by default so that any device, any view size you use to view your content, it flows by default without even writing much of responsiveness for now before you now do. For when you now consider responsiveness is for aligning other things to look more well. But for this, by default, any screen device you are using to view it, it aligns the content to suit it. So that's for this. Then you have your title. So I'm going to change my title to um, TEFEM
Wow, I don't want to be on the go. Where you got that?
TEFEM site. I'll call it TEFEM site on the head section. So now, like we said yesterday, we are going to just experiment what we learned yesterday before we proceed to the next thing that we have. So, key, I have things on my head section, but I don't have anything on my body section. Let's see what happens. I'm going to run it, and this is my live server. So I've opened it on my live server. What happens? I have the code opened here. So let me open this on the browser. So here, let me paste it here. So here you have your TFM site. That's the title. So that's the work of the title. Um, that's the work of the title. So this is TFM site. So if I edit this title to TFM, I say home screen, home. This is your.
I can't see your screen.
Sorry, you said you can't see my screen.
Yes, I can't. And it's not just me.
So how many persons can see my screen? If you can see my screen, drop your right emoji. Okay, Darwin Forest. Thank you so much. All right. So if you can't see your screen, just please, what you have to do, leave the call and rejoin so that you'll be able to see your screen. So like I said yesterday, the difference, we are verifying what we learned yesterday, the title tag. This is a title tag. This is where it displays on the title bar of your browser. That is where you have it. If I open this in another browser, you still get to see the same thing. So now this is what I have. So the beauty of your live server. I'm using the live server. The beauty of it is that once I edit anything, it comes out here without me refresh. I don't need to refresh again. If I change this now to TEFEM, um, let's give it a motto TEFEM. Okay, let's just leave it this way for now. So let's go to the body section and add H1 and say TEFEM empowering the African 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 ladies and ladies. So once I get to this place, it's already working. This is the work of the live server. So if I shut down this live server, if I edit this, what I have to do, I have to come here and refresh the page. So that's the difference between using the live server and using not using the live server. If I'm not using the live server, I have to always come to refresh it before I see my output. So let me stop the live server. So I'm going to add a body. I'm going to say second the two class. So I don't have it here. I have to refresh. Okay, sorry. I have to first go to the location of this file, get to this place and open this the browser. Then that's how to launch it without a live server. So this is with live server. This is without a live server. I have to locate the file here and run it, open it with a browser. That's for without a live server. Which anytime I make a change, if I make a change on, if I make a change, let's say ongoing, ongoing, okay, ongoing. So it's not reflecting. I have to refresh in order to see it. So that's for this is for you using without using a live server. So I will also prefer you use a live server so that you won't pass through the stress because most I've experienced where learners, new people starting into the industry, what they do is sometimes they forget that they are supposed to refresh and they will start complaining that their code is not working. Why? They just forgot to refresh. And also, another thing to note is this. Sorry, another thing is this. You need to always save. So VS Code gives you I have a setup for auto save. So my this is always save, auto save. My auto save is on. So I don't need to save, always do Control S because you need to Control S before you can see your display. But because I'm using auto on my setup, I'm using auto save. So with auto save, I have everything. So with this arranged this way, so I'm going to also show you the work of Prettier. Let's say I have this code this way, scattered like this. Let me say class. Let's say class going class ongoing. Let's say students. Yes. Uh, learning. uh, Then I have like so so now I have something like this on my code. The work of Prettier is as a format document with Prettier. Once I use Prettier, after configuring your Prettier, Once you use Prettier, it arranges your document for you. So you don't need to come and start arranging your document like to be in the same line and all that. So that's the work of Prettier. It gives it an alignment, the indentation falls very good and structured very well. That's the work of Prettier too. So that's the work of Prettier. Then what else did we talk about yesterday? Okay, we talked about attributes, right? We talked about attributes. So I'm going to use, okay, I'm going to use the title attributes. I know we had, so like I said, for attributes, to know an attribute, get the name of the attribute. So this contains a text representation and advisory information related to the element it belongs to. Such information can typically and but not necessarily be presented to the user as a tip tool. So a tip tool. So this means that if I add a title attribute, let's say this is the header. This is the header. If I save, then okay, I'm going to relaunch my live server. Relaunch my live server. So, yeah, I'll close this tab. This is my live server. Relaunch it. So I have here. So once I hover on this, I'll see so this is the header. That's the work of the title attribute. Whereby this is the header. So okay, let's do something like this is the header of okay, or let's say this is the motto or the slogan for slogan for impact for impact. So so if I hover, I get it. This is the slogan for impact. So this is the work of the title attributes. When you hover on the text, it gives you the title of that text. So I'm going to ask for this other text so that we can have it. I'm going to copy this title. So you see that it only affects an attribute only affects that element. Here, this is here, nothing is happening here, nothing is happening here. Only here. This is where it affects this. So if I add, copy this and also add it to students are learning, give a space and put it. If I check students are learning, I'm going to have my title. This slogan is for impact. Here, this slogan is for impact. So that's the difference between the title tag and your title attributes. So with that being said, we also looked at what else we really looked at yesterday. So we have a lot of attributes. So we have the ID attributes, we have the class attributes. Class attributes, we have two major types of attributes. We have the class name attributes, class attributes, and ID attributes. ID attributes, that's where you see something like, so title is a name attribute. Then you have something like ID attributes. This is, you merely list this, I can keep this thing as above. So it's not the same thing as your title attribute. Title attribute is for hover. Then this ID attribute, I've given this attribute just like me giving this a number. So if I want to call up this attribute, I can do something like this. I'll come here and use hash. Okay. So if I want to call it, I have to use a specific pattern for that, which I when we get into CSS, I will talk more on this so that you won't get confused. So that being said, I'm going to pop out what I have for tonight. So I want us to look at dissect a web page. The picture format to look at what do you see when you look at it. I What do you see when you look at your what do you see when you look at an HTML page? An HTML page, what do you see? So okay, where is that? What do you see? Now, what else did we discuss yesterday before we proceed to that? So, do you have do anyone have any question? Any question?
Yes, I have a question. I
Okay.
don't know, it feel like this information is quite much to dissect. Like I didn't even get to like the lifesaver that you opened after you open your VS Code. Is it for just to be seeing what you are doing in the VS Code, or what is the use of the lifesaver?
Okay, okay. So the work of the live server, that's the server. So this is giving me a unique URL. It's giving me a unique URL. I can use it anywhere. So what I'm doing is this: in order to see an update of my site, of whatever I'm coding, without refreshing, that's why I'm using a live server. If I using a live server, or else if you run these codes, what you're supposed to do when you save, you control S and save. When you control S and save, you open the folder and open it with a browser. So you do this something like this. Then if you add anything, when you add anything, I'm going to give you. So when you add something like this, let's say I control S. Now, nothing changed here. Nothing changed here until I refresh. Once I refresh, that's when you see the update. But when I'm using a live server, on a live server, it just comes out. It gives me the live update without refreshing. I don't need to refresh to see my update. Once I change anything, when I say something like this, I just say, okay, I'll use let's use header 2. I'll say questions in between questions. I just move and you see it does is refreshed by itself and gives me my updates. Where is the okay? Yeah, so this is it here. Once I make any change, if I remove this X, goes off without being that actually editing. That's the work of a live server. So it helps you to see your display without refreshing. So that's it. You understand now?
Yes, but then like in our HTML element, now I can see title tag, but when you view it with your live server, I didn't see the title TEFEM. Just start with empowering the ladies.
So this is your title tag. Like I said, title tag displays on the title bar. On your title bar, that's where you have your title tag on your title bar. You get? You understand?
Yes, I understand now. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, thank you so much. Any other person?
Yes, I do have a question. Good evening, Daniel.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, so my question is when you talked about the attributes,
Okay.
You talked about attributes on. I can't even find it again. Can you scroll down? Let me see what I.
This is what I have.
Yes, the last attribute you talked about on the is not the H tag.
That's the ID attributes
Yes,
and
the
class
ID attribute
and
and the
class
class.
attributes. Okay, okay. Yes, I said I will talk more on that during when we start implementing CSS, so that you won't get confused, because majorly it's used to give it a it's just like me giving you a tag. Okay, you are number one, number two, number three. Then I will go to a certain place and call number one. Number one will get this, number two will get this, number three will get this. That's what that attribute does. It's just like a pronoun. When you use a pronoun instead of a noun. So that's how it works. It's just like you giving your element a pronoun. Do you understand? Do you
Yes,
understand?
I get. But I get. But I thought an attribute is what tells us more about a tag. For instance,
Yes.
an image attribute, right?
Okay. Yes.
So
I don't
why are
know
we
if I
having
can.
attributes added to our class and our ID?
Okay. Yes. So class attributes is used to give your attributes a name, a unique your element, a unique name. So if I identify this with a class of, I say, give it a class, uh, head, head, heading, head question, or question, then now this is a class. I've given it a class called question, and I can give two elements the same class. I can also give this a class and call it question. Question. Now I've given these two class question. If I want to call question, whatever I give to this question in my CSS is going to affect this H2 element and this P element, paragraph element, these two elements. It will affect it because they bear the same name. Like I said, it's giving it a pronoun, just like I'm giving it a unique name, just like a nickname. I've given this element now, giving this element a nickname of question. So once if I want to, instead of calling it a H2, because once I mention H2, it will affect every H2, just like now. I have this paragraph, this paragraph, this paragraph, and this paragraph. These are three paragraphs. If I add the CSS now for P paragraph, it will affect all the paragraphs here, all this P here, this P tag, to affect all of them because I'm calling it by the tag name. But when I use this class attribute or an ID attribute, if I use this class or ID attribute, ID attribute, these two now, what happens is this: whatever I name this, if I call it by, if I give this attribute question, if I call this attribute question, it will only affect this p tag that has an attribute of question. You get, it's an identifier. It's called the selector. Is for ID attribute is used to give your elements a selector. So we in CSS we call it ID selector and all that. When we get to CSS, you understand more. I didn't want to go deep inside it so that you won't get more confused, so that you dissect it little by little. So I just brought it up because it's an example of an attribute, but it has this unique way of working, just like the way title work. Title is used to give, once you hover on the text, it gives you a a tooltip of what that element has. Just like when you hover on this, you see the title of this is a slogan for impact. That's the work of title attribute. But here, here that you have your class attributes, you don't have it. The class attribute has its own, but it's like giving your this in a pronoun. It said a space selected list of classes of elements. Classes allows CSS and JavaScript to select and access specific elements by the class selector or function like the method. So this is a class selector. This is a selector. So in CSS, that's where you meet a class selector and an attribute ID selector. So these two are selectors. You call it selectors in CSS. So when we get to CSS, you understand more this. Do I have I answered your question?
Yeah, yes, I get now. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, please, I have a question.
Okay, that should be the last one. Before then we proceed at the end of the class. We answer everybody's question. Okay, go ahead.
Please, in your code, I saw something like the content initial scale. Are we scaling by the page in which what we coded is being for? Are we scaling the page then? The extensions I saw that you were talking about, the prettier something like that. So do we get to use it if only we have downloaded it or when we are online using the
No.
VS Code?
Okay. 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 Preacher is an extension. Once you install it, it works. You don't need data for that. You don't need any data. Once it's set up, like I said, you have to set it up. So once you install it, you make it your default. So I think I'll just do the setup for that, but I promise I'll do that. I'll send an article and also a video on how to do it. So once you have it set up, this is how the printer is. You install it, you have it this way. This is what it does. You can read about it, the details, what it does, how to use it. So you just get here, install it, make it your default formatter and all that. So like basically, if when I did something like this, I shifted it, I had to right click, went to format document with, I opened it, I now touch my prettier code formatter. I just selected it. It now helps me to arrange it back this way. That was what I did. So in our subsequent class, we'll be using it so that you get used to it and all that. But after the setup, once you control X, it arranges for you by default because prettier now becomes your default. Once you control S, it does the arrangement for you. That's the configuration for prettier. I promise at the end of the class, I'll send the documents and a video on how to set it up and work around it.
Then, sir, please, what about the scaling? The scaling and this meta charter UTF-8. Why do we scale this thing, the web
Okay.
page?
All right. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Now, this metadata name viewport. This is like I explained. This is for your responsiveness. So now, this content with equal to with device with. So the content of your browser here takes. Okay, let's do something like this. I'm going to set up responsiveness. I've selected the phone. Now by default, I just had it shrinked to my mobile size, my mobile size, without writing any code for responsiveness. So that's the work of this. So if I remove this from here, I'm going to remove this. What will happen? So this is what we have. Do you understand it now?
Please, can you come again with the responsiveness?
Okay, so the metadata, the work of this metadata here, if I remove that metadata and I am viewing this with a smaller device, this is what I get. It won't align by default, it will overshoot this way. I have a lot of overshoot because then I have to write a lot of, if you, so the work of this is metadata. It gives you a viewpoint, your viewpoint, okay, viewpoint. Then you have your content. So I'm saying something like content with use this width the width of this content, the width of your content should be device width. So now you see that it's using my device width. So let me remove this initial scale width so that we can see what it does. So though this should be another class, but so this is what you have. Now this is which content, this is content equal to content attribute. I'm saying that the content should take the width of the width should be the device width. So now by default, if I enlarge this, let me choose a more bigger phone, a more bigger, a more bigger phone. Let's say I'm using an iPad mini. So you see what happens? It takes the default device width. So now I have to add a scale, initial scale of 0.1, so that I have set it properly so that I will not have overshoot by default. This is your default arrangement for you to have something like this. Now you see that at every point the write-ups are fine. You can view it. Your viewpoint is very much aligned to the way that you can see it without even writing a single CSS alignment. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So that's for metadata. We have looked at metadata. So I think another thing, let's look at another meta that we need is so now we have different a lot of meta. We have meta compatible description, age, redirect, refresh. These are different metadata you can set. So description, this is description, this is for the description. I can add that this is training TEFEM training training website website. So now this is so if I'm going to share this how do I do this? So what I'm trying to achieve is this. If I share this content to you, you will have something like this. Like I explained earlier in the last class, whereby you have when you share, I've given it the description. So if I launch this thing online now, you have your the link with the title and the description. I'm adding this to an setting up an SEO for this site now. This is how you set up your SEOs with metadata. So there are a lot of metadata. You can use different metadata. You can use this. So this is you have set a compatibility for what is this? This is formal Microsoft Edge. What is it called again? I'm forgetting this browser that you used before the outcome of Microsoft Edge. Internet Explorer. Yeah. So this is I've set compatibility for this. So these are just metadata. You add a lot of metadata. So this is for Internet Explorer, Edge, then another, blah, blah, blah. These are just setups that you need to do. So, but default setup is one most important one is having your viewport set up so that you can have a responsive content. Then you can set up your description. You can set up your description. You can set up a description for to get your content so that you can have when you share it, you can have a thumbnail with your content there. Then you can have your title. Then you have your tags. So these are basic thing. I think this is the basic thing that we talked about yesterday. I've made justice to that. What we talked about yesterday, we have seen how it runs for what we discussed yesterday. So basically, I need to pop out a web screen of what we are going to build during this HTML class and CSS class. We have an end to go on that. So I want to actually teach you how to describe, like I said, the best way to explain all this is by doing stuff. So I want to teach us how best to arrange this. How best to arrange this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out the layout. Let me just check what I taught yesterday. Attributes. I think we have gone through this. So I'm going to pop out. What do you actually see? So let's open a site. Okay, okay. I think let me see if I have this. I
Please, I have a question.
okay. Okay.
Okay, so with the meta name, right? You know, you did meta name for Edge, meta name for Explorer. So I
Yes.
want to ask, if we don't add those meta name for Edge and all of that, does that mean that somebody cannot open the site on
With the
any of those browsers?
Explorer. Before and it gives like you need to like arrange all those things, but subsequent times browsers have upgraded so that you can actually space is compatible. Before if you want, there are some things that cannot work without you adding you have to put in those metas so that your explorer can view it and other ones. Because now browsers has there is evolvement in technology. So most of those tags or elements are no longer being used, but it does not mean that it's not necessary when you want to. Or it's no like it's not mandatory that you use it. Nobody uses Explorer now. Everybody uses Microsoft Edge. And Microsoft Edge, you can't compare Microsoft Edge to Microsoft Explorer. That's the same way you can't really see that the way things were displayed in 2019, 2020, even last year, it's not the way things evolved. So things have evolved. Nine. So that's it for that. So I want let me pop out. Sorry, I have share my screen because of non-disclosures. I'm sorry. I have to check out this.
Don't suddenly out, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Do you have questions?
Yes, I want to tell them to go to the message box so they can put in the names, my attendance. Thank you. Please go to the box, put your name just like yesterday. So then are you talking? Your mic is not on. Anyone see you?
No, I'm not
Yes.
talking. I'm trying to stop my an assignment assessment that we're going to be using for the class. I'm trying to put it up. So that was why I stopped sharing my screen. So you can go ahead to type your attendance on the comment section.
Please, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
It's concerning the attendance and the video that was supposed to be uploaded on YouTube. Most persons, they're even dropping message on the group chat that network is kind of bad. And personally, for me, that I'm new to web development, sometimes I need to replay videos from these classes so that I'll be able to understand better. But the first class is not even on YouTube yet, and there's no hope that this one will be on YouTube before our next class. Please, can they make it possible for the record of the class to be available on YouTube before our next class so that we'll be able to digest what we have learned in the previous class before learning something new? Please.
All right, thank you so
Let
much.
me answer.
Okay.
Let me answer. Okay, sorry guys. It was meant to be uploaded yesterday, but we had delay in network. But it's now ready. After this class, I will drop the link of this class on the group chat. It's already on YouTube. So sorry for the delay. I'm so sorry. I just got the link right now before the class started. So I'm going to drop it after this class. I will tag it, then you go and watch. And please subscribe. So that when the new video you get notification on it. So sorry for the delay. Your classes are going uploaded. You see it. So I'm sorry. Am I forgiving?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So both this one and one of yesterday, we all see them.
Sorry, I think I've misplaced the documents I'm supposed to share. I don't know. It is just proceed with one of your assignments you're supposed to do. So let's just proceed with that. See what that. See, let's see. Proceed with that. Because I can't really find the assignment. I can't really find the file that I'm supposed to share with you. So that I want to give you a real time update on the phone. All right, all right. I think you can all see my screen. So I believe you can also.
So I have dropped the link already. Victory, I've dropped it. So after the class, I'm going to check on Telegram if I've dropped it.
So, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the class. Sorry for the commercial break and for the assignment and so far. So this will be one of your class assessments. So I'm going to this. I feel okay. I found okay. You touch one or two of them, then so that you have to pay attention because this is one of the class assignments or probably a group project. I'll check back, but since I can't find the other project that you're supposed to be on, I think we'll have to go deal with this. Let's see if I'm able to find this. Okay, I should be able to find it. Just give me a minute, but let's just dissect this page for today so that we can look at this page. So this is what I have. You can all see my screen. Now, this is a Figma file. As a front-end developer, you are being given this. You are being given something like this. Work on. This is you are given a job. This is what you find. Find something like this. A layout where you have your everything. This is how your web page is being displayed. So there's so much of it. It's a web page. This is a website. If you open it, this is a team site that you're supposed to work on during this class. So, okay, but it's miracles are being. So this is where we're about to start turning water into wine. So by turning water into, and this is one of the projects you're supposed to work on. And the link of this is going to be made access to you at due time. So since I can't find the file we're supposed to work on, we have to link to it for today. So this is the site. When this is how your output should be like. When you make this project, is what is like. You need to have something like this as your site. So now, what do you see when you look at this? When you look at this, what do you see? What do you see? That's the thing. What do you see when you look at this? Do you see what do you actually see? That's the question you are supposed to ask yourself. When you visit a site, let's say we visit TEFEM, TEFEM has a website. I can't really get the site because it's every site, even your homepage, this Google homepage is. I'm going to give you an assignment to design your Google homepage. So this is my own Google homepage. What do you see? Everything here is actually a code. What do you see? That's the question. So back to this, because I'm going to use a real-time project. We have an objective so that you'll be able to work with real-time project. Any sites like this, what do you actually see? So now, these are just a round up of your HTML, where you have your divs, your paragraphs, your header one, the header two, and all those elements and attributes and all that. This is what if you put it together, just bringing like different leaves and trying to prepare an egusi soup. This is first you after this like the end or after you have mixed everything and everything is done. This is just like your output. The soup is done. This is what you see. But before the soup is done this way, what happens? You have to slice your onions, your pepper, everything that you have to start the process. So this takes us back to where we are now. This is our end goal. We'll be working on this page throughout this session, just this one. So your assignment, I think I'll help you because your assignment is to finish up the remaining pages. So I will talk to my facilitator. So we'll only use this single page here to give you what is what. So now we are going to start off with this. I need you to follow up with this class so that you don't miss out in building this because this is your individual project. And I'm going to use it during this whole class so that you understand how things are done. So now, what am I seeing here? Now, I have two things I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a logo here. I'm seeing a section here. I'm seeing another section here. I'm seeing a page. This is another section. This is another section. This is another thing. This is another section. Inside this section, I'm seeing another square, 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 square. So just like you have heard where people say, in every pictures are made up of little small boxes that are called pixels. So that's the same way how this is being done. That's the same way how this is being done. Everything you are looking at here is are just like boxes. So how many balls am I supposed to build to achieve something like this? That's the question. How many balls am I supposed to build to achieve something like this? That's the question. How many blocks? So now that's what are you seeing? This is your project. I've been given this thing. So what are you seeing? Here, I know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing header one, header two. I'm seeing paragraph ID. I'm seeing underline. I'm seeing images. I'm seeing a whole lot of things. Now, how do I get this output? How do I really get this output? Let's go to output. So I'm going to right click on highlight this and so let's get to work. So now this is what we have. So first the name of this our site. This is coach gym. So I'm going to start by adding coach gym here. Coach gym.
You have not moved to your text editor.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
still
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So right. Let's see this page. Okay. Right. Okay. This is about. I will take this page. Right. No, normal in the school settings, we do the smaller ones and give you the bigger ones to do. I should have taken this page or even this smaller one here and leave you to do this people one instead to enjoy it. Because work on this page, the whole page, then that's what we are going to work on the whole page. So I'm going to share my screen. So this is share my screen. So now I'm starting with the code. I'm going to arrange this. So what I'm going to do is arrange my code. So I've given my title code G as the title of what I have. So then what else do I have here? So I want to use many base. One story.
sorry, I have a question. The previous file that we're working on, what did you do with it? Did you delete or you created a new one for Gold Gene?
I just highlighted and I just highlighted it. So since we are the new stuff, I just highlighted it. I just commented it out. I didn't put it because I needed a full shoot. So that one was our test thing. So you can name any of your things how you like, but it's best that you start with interest dots. I want us to work on a real time project. Let's feel how does a project this project now is. You can get this project as a list of projects 120K above to work on this page. So this age, I contract you as my front-end developer. This. How do you work on this? How do you see this? What are you supposed to see? So I want us to work like a real-time thing. What am I supposed to see? The company has given me their Figma file. This is their Figma file. This is what we want. This is what is like. How do we get it done? So that's the question. How do we get it done? So now, what am I seeing? We have talked about HTML tags, elements, attributes. How do we use all that we have learned to achieve something like this? That's the question. So with the little we know, we can start up something. So let's start. So now, like I said, I'm seeing something. So what I'm going to do, let me just show the. So now, like I said, so I'm seeing different things. This is I'm seeing different things. When I look at this side, I'm seeing different boxes that contains a lot of things. Different boxes. So we start from the top side and start coming. We don't have time. So I've been said I'm supposed to deliver this in the next. I have 3 weeks to deliver this job. What do we do? How do we deliver this job? So, first and foremost, we have learned how different tags, different attributes, and all that. So what do we do? How do we achieve this? So I'm going to start by now. This is my body section. So I'm going to use, I want to explore on the first part, which is called the navigation tab, the nav bar. So let me design something. If it's a class, let me design something what I'm seeing. So this is what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing something like this. I'm seeing something like this. Also, we are supposed to see something like this. Then this, you could use a pen if you have a book. Use a book to write this out. Then I'm seeing something like this. We are analyzing this side and seeing this, 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 this. See the section, you see the something. If I have, if I have, so basically, you use your pen to draw something like this. When you have something like this, and give it a job, like it's throughout you have to see. So this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing it's when I look at this. Then this what I see. So this is enough. Bar. So I'm using this because I can't actually write my paper for you to see. So this is what I'm seeing. The map bar section, I'm seeing the right top section here. This is like you are analyzing your layout. What you see. I'm seeing the left side, left hero. Sorry, what did you say?
I have a question. Yes, I have a question. That what software are you using to for what you are currently presenting?
Okay. Like I said, the reason why I'm using that is that I'm on my feet, man. I have editing access. The reason why I'm doing this here is so that you can see it. If not, I'm supposed to use my pen and draw it out on a book. So you are not supposed to do this. You just use your book. You can use your exercise to draw it out. So I can ask you to draw it out, and so you are going to analyze this page. I will send this link to you. You analyze this page here. You analyze it. and draw out something like this, what you see on the page. That will be your first assignment. I'm going to send this as a screenshot. So I'm going to download this and share the first assignment one. Assignment one. I'll drop it on the group chat. I'll send it to Lucy. Lucy will drop it for the group chat. You are going to analyze this layout for me. What do you see? You give it a display, I snap it and send. I'll provide the Google link, a Google form link where you submit the assignments. So this is actually what you are supposed to use your pen and paper. So how you do the assignments, use your pen and paper, write it out. Write out what you see, then snap it and upload it. So now this is the left hero section. And see the right side.
Hello, tutor, please, I don't understand this navbar left hero, right hero.
Okay. So what I'm doing is this. I'm being paid something to do. So this part is called the navigation bar. This is where you use to navigate around the website. So that's what I just implemented. This layout here. This is what is here. So now I have this left side of this thing. So I call this part hero section. And just so I'm saying the left part of the hero section. Then this part is the right part of the hero section. Then here I have another section. This is pre-workout programs. So I'm just going to do something like this. All right. So this is so that to guide me on what the layout on how to do this. I'm setting up my layout. What I'm supposed to do so that I will not. So this is another layout, which is get our merge. So I'm just stuff like get our merge. I'm analyzing the layout. So you will soon understand layout. Get merge. Get then I have the gallery section. So I'll just call this back. I'll put it outside the gallery. Gallery section. That's the section. Gallery section. Then we have what's going to have the recipe. This is our recipe section. Recipes. Then we have contact us. Contact us here. Contact us. Then we have our footer here. So we have here. I will say something like this. Navigation here is also called. I can call this navbar. I can call it header section. So now this is everything I have on this website. It's just this. So now I'm going to start coding it now. So I've been able to analyze this layout. So this I just break down this layout to what I'm supposed to do. So I'll start with this header section. So my code, I will create a header section, a header tag. I will say my nav, uh, nav bar. So first I have my logo. Since we have not learned how to put images, I'll just write it logo. Then start the logo on this place. I have the nav bar where I have home, about, where I have this, have this so that you could see. I have this home, about, workout program, recipe, store, login, and sign up. This is on the right hand side. So I'm going to do something like this. Now, there's a tag we looked at yesterday. That's UL. What is this UL for? This is UL stands for what? It represents elements, represents a list item. So I'm using this, I'll use a list and something. Then I'm using it for this. Then we talked about a link, anchor link, anchor link. So I have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7. So I'm going to do something like 1, 2.
I can't see your screen.
You can't see my screen.
Yes.
Please leave the call and join back. I believe every other person can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Awesome, awesome. So this is what I have. I've created the logo. So the first part of this is my home. I'll just write home. The second one is about. About. The third is workout program. Fourth one is recipe. Fifth one is store. Okay. So let's run this on our live server. Let's see what we have. This is, let me go back to this. So this is what we have. This is basically our house. What we have our home, about us, workout programs, recipes, job, login, and sign up. This is what we have on this section on our header section. So we are done with our header section here, our nav bar. We are done with our header section. So the next section we are looking at is the hero section here. The hero section, which will have a right and left section. So how I'm going to do this? So I will close this way. Here I'll come back to that section. Then
I have a question.
okay.
Navbar on the Figma file is on the vertical line.
Yes.
How do you do that on the text editor?
So we need, that's where the CSS comes in. We need to add CSS. Since we don't know how to add CSS now, we have to just go do it what we know. We are using what we know to build this site now. So when we progress to what, if we learn a new thing, we also use that new thing to add up to the site. We are using the knowledge we have now to build this site. I want to show you what you can do with the little you know now. Do you get it? Yeah, thank you so much. We are running out of time. So, yes, it's a few minutes. So I'm looking at the second section. Looking at this, I'm seeing different things. What I'm seeing on this left side, I'm seeing something that looks like a H1 element, H1 element, the H1 with code. I'm seeing a paragraph, I'm seeing a box. Okay? So that's for the left hand side. So what I'll do is I'm going to in this section. So there's something you also need to know. Is here everywhere we have comments. How to comment on post. So I'm going to comment on this post. This is my header section. Then here is my hero section. So here in my hero section, I have right and left. I'm going to use the one.
Yeah, please, I cannot see your screen.
So sorry, just off and rejoin it again. See my screen. Sorry for your network issue. So I've created this. I'm going to comment here. I'll say this is the right, sorry, left, 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 right. So now I know you are going to have a question of how do you comment. Now, this is how you comment on your code. This is how you comment on your code. You have it's a shortcut to comment actually. I'm going to reach out to comment. You write your greater than an exclamation mark with two dash, then your content with two dash with the greater than sign. So once you see something like this, it shows you that it's a comment, and whatever you put on your comment does not show on the web page. Do you understand? Yes. So now, so far so good. We are just still aligning our layout. So we have the hero section, we have the section tag, then we have our left and right. So on the left hand side, we have make your body shape, and it's very important. So we could use header one is one of the headers, H1, and so we could say something like this. So H1, or we can say this one should be H2, H2. So I will do something like this. Come to this place and say this. So then the next thing I have is the paragraph. Let's go from here, paragraph, and put in the text. So what else I have? I have a button. Okay. Right. There's a button element called button. And inside the button I have getting started. So with that, I'm done with the left hand side. So when I go back to my side, this is what I have. Yes, we are progressing. This is our button. This is our head to H1 and all that. So what is we have our right hand side, we have an image. We don't know how to put image, so we just write here image. So the next thing is the next section, which is programs. This is programs. But here there is a multiple thing here. Something is happening here. We have inside here, we have a lot of things here. We have a text here, a title here, more like a title or caption. Then we have different boxes, different boxes, different boxes, different this box one, this different, these are different divs. So different divs. How do I now put these different divs? So this is what I do. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 divs. So I'm going to create this section called, I'll call it the program, so that I can know that's workout program. House program. What our workout program, going to create a section. Then inside it we have the head one. Inside it we have the head one. Then we have 5 divs. 5 divs. What I'll do, because if you look closely to this, what I'll do, I'll first create a parent div. Then inside that div, I'll create 5 divs. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now which represents 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then containing it here. So this is for H. This is free workout. I'll add it here. Then here is where I have beginners friendly. So here there is something inside this div. There's a div and a button. A div that contains an image on the right hand and a button. How do we go about this? How do we go about this? I'm going to put in this and this. So I have to create a div and a button. Then inside this div, I have a right button. So the first one, I'm going to say a div, another div, and a button. Button. That's for that div and a button. And inside that, I have a, I can, this thing looks like H3. So I can use H3 and call it without friendly here beside that. Then I'm supposed to have an image. So since I don't know how to add an image, just like image, so I'm supposed to add it. So the button, what I'm supposed to have on the button is that or today. Start today as the content of the button. So I'm going to copy this way. I'll just get this and change the content. So this is the one I want to commit. This is one, so that we have, this is for one, beginners friendly, moderate, advanced, something like this. So that we're able to differentiate each one that we're working on. So this is moderate to advanced. So moderate to advanced. That's our two. I will copy this and copy this. Say this is 3. I will do this here. I will come here and say weight loss. This is for weight loss. Weight loss. No equipment. That's the fourth one. So I'm going to basically arrange this way. 4 and 5, so that I can be very much faster. Because the faster you finish what you're supposed to do and make your mistake, the faster you learn and improve. That's a word from one of our friend colleague. The faster, which is the faster you finish up and go the faster you fail and be able to make mistakes and learn from your mistake and improve and grow. So I'm done. Let's check our output. What we have. First one is work out program. That's the work out program section. We have moderate to advanced weight loss, new equipment, and strength training. So now, what else? Yes, I see next section. Get our mesh. Okay. We are moving, there's progress. Get our mesh. So what do we do? I'm seeing two different things in this section. The first one contains top side, second one. So what do I do? Okay. I come there. So what I'm going to do, this is that section. So the next section I'm working at is get our mesh. I'll copy this. Go to this point and create another section and call it get mesh and call it section. So I'm seeing two divs here, two divisions. And this. So I'm going to create two divisions. So I'll create div one and div two. So on the first div, I have a title and a button. So this first, I'll use H2, H2, and button, button. So in H2, I have get our, then I have a button, I have view or view or view of products. This is what we have. Then we have inside the MC different boxes. One, two, three, four boxes. So I will create four boxes. Sleeves with one, one, two, three, four. So inside it, I have an image and I have something like image. Then I have a this is button, a button, this is a button, um, this be a button. I don't think, I doubt. Right of a title. So I'll use a H4, H4, the H4, tag, tag, so arrange it back. This is first one. So the second one, I'll just copy this to this space. Say shift, shift, for shift, and yeah. So I'm going to comment it so that you can understand that this is one. This is three. This is four. So I just copy this and come here, paste it, and it's button. This is button. So the next one is shift again. So just So we are progressing. So we are done with this section. Let's get our main section. The next section we are moving on to the gallery section. So I have a big section, and I'm seeing the title, and I'm seeing different is a div inside it. I have different boxes. So what do we do? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 images. How do we do this? So basically, we are working on this part now. We are here now. This is what we are doing now. So what do we do? So this is what I'm seeing. 8 images. I have my title. So I'll just close this way. Come down to this place, create another section. Now the way you arrange this code at the time. So we have this. I'll just push faster so that we could achieve arrival. And then I have my section content. Then inside our section, I have a div that contains images, 8 images. I have a div. Then inside it, I have so I'll just correct this, copy it, and make it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Since we don't know how to add the page, then we come to the next section, which is a recipe. I need to each time your recipe so that we could take questions too. I know a lot of us have a lot of questions. So this is the recipe. So create another section. Another section. Create another section. Another. Okay. Then we have 2 divs here. The first div and the second. So the first one we have the title. That's what we say. Then we have a button for more of that. We have button for more. Then we have this section. Here I'm seeing 2 different first div and second div. Now left and right. Left and right. So I'm going to still define it that way. Inside this div, I'll give 2 divs, which is left and right. Let's connect on it. Left, right, left and right. So on the left side, this is what we have image, we have our title, paragraph, and button. So to the left side, we have title. Our title is not quite big, so we could use HTML title, we have paragraph, and we have button. We have button, title, paragraph, and button. Then we have an image. So, because this is image, this is an image, and this is an image that is containing this. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll say image, image, then I'll carry this. because this is what I'm seeing is inside the container, in this container. Then I have my H2, which is the title. Then I have the paragraph. Then I have the portrait. That's for the left side. So for the right side, let me see this side. I have this. See, this side is image and this. So, but in order to have this, I will do something that's very much better way of getting this done. I have a div inside that it contains image, image, and title H3. So this is the from here. So have it 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is like 1, 3, 4. This is the second one. Third one. And fourth one is so that's it. Then move over to the next section, which is our contact us section, which I'm seeing different things too. I'm seeing this T that says the title and paragraph. I'm seeing another T that houses one right and left. Then yes, I have inputs. And this. So what do I do? I come back to this, with another section. That's us. Contact us section. Sorry, I'm taking 2 minutes for the time. It's happening right now. I'm very sorry. I just yeah wrapping up for tonight. Wrapping up for tonight. So very great. I'm seeing a div like div that contains this and so I'll create a div, first div. So the first one contains title, H2, then a paragraph, then the second one contains a that's the second one contains two, one, two, which the first one and the second one is right. Right. So left is input 1, 2, 3. Then this is the image. We don't know how to add image. So for now, we don't know how to add. So input, we didn't learn how to add an input. So what we just write the left side to have inputs, 3 inputs. We just write there input. So we just add an input. And just start. Just use an input start. Okay. That means if we do this, we have broken the law. So let's just type it as input We are using what we learned yesterday to build this site. Inputs. We are supposed to add how many inputs? 1, 2, 3. Three inputs. Image on the right hand. Right hand side we have then we have logo and paragraph. Let's create another section and let's comment that. So I'm going to use that feedback and call it image and we have our paragraph. So we are done. We are done with what this is. We are done with everything. Here. So let's check our output. What it looks like. This is how our site is looking like. Specifically everything. We have our logo, our application. This is our hero section. Make your body shape. This is this content. We have the next section. We have the other section. Get our mesh where we are supposed to. So this is the output of what we have. So far so good. We have used with all the little knowledge we learned yesterday. This is what we have done. So do we have questions? Questions. So our time is quite spent. So questions.
Yes, please, I have a question. Please, can you
Yes, go ahead with your questions.
I don't know if we can get a screenshot of your story so you can guide us in doing our own. Because we're quite fast and we're not able to follow everything. So if you can get a screenshot of your story.
It was a screenshot of my code.
Yes, yes.
You should be coding along with your system when I was doing that. So
I was, but you were quite fast and we were not able to like do everything.
I was very fast.
Yeah.
I don't think
You were.
I was fast.
And if we have to follow you while you are
Okay. You
definitely
would
going
have
to
got
get
my
lost.
you would have caught my attention when you were lost. So because you didn't get my attention, that means I can't justify that. I can't. Okay, master said
You
the
were
last
trying
one.
to beat the time now. That's why
No,
we didn't want to disturb you.
no, you can't disturb me. You are supposed to call my attention. Okay, I'm very
You were
fast.
very fast. So we are trying to pay attention to what you were doing to be able to get it.
Okay. So you have to watch the video and get this on your system before the next class. So you have to go back and watch. Okay, I have not added something. I just saw something I didn't add. I didn't add. Yes, I didn't add it. This is contact us paragraph. See, everybody, if you were listening, but you said you were listening, you couldn't find out that I had a missing. So this is it. Martha said I should. The last part of my code. So Martha, are you done with that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So
Thank you. I've seen it.
Sir, please, can we get the link to the Figma board
of
or
course,
page?
I will for this one, for this.
Sir, I
Okay.
didn't get that though.
You said you want the link to the Figma. Okay, I'm coming.
Yes.
I will share the link to the Figma at due time. For now, for now, but this is your class assessment, so I'll share it. I need to set up some other things before I share it. So I need to